Hello friends, welcome to Engineering Today, and we're back with our weekly space update, so sit tight and grab a cup of tea or coffee and begin our first update based on NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. The launch of NASA's James Webb Space Telescope may shift to November as it will take some time to be ready for its debut mission. Despite that delay, the overall launch progress will be going as smoothly as it could. The mission team conducted several pre-launch tests in order to check the telescope's mirror system. Furthermore, the telescope is expected to be shipped from Corral, French Guiana, by the end of August or early September. From there, it will be launched atop an Ariane 5 rocket. The launch is currently scheduled on Halloween, that's October 31st, but might slip to November. The James Webb Space Telescope is the successor of NASA's iconic Hubble Space Telescope. We're not unlike a planetary mission, Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science, stated at a news conference. We have launch windows virtually every day. They'll vary in length and size, typically in the morning. We don't have the exact time yet for the October 31st launch date, but we have multiple opportunities for launch if we have a weather delay or whatever type of delay that may occur. Let's move on to our second update, which is based on NASA's 2 Venus missions. NASA is planning not 1 but 2 new Venus missions, and it's our duty to give you updates regarding that. On Wednesday, June 2nd, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson announced the missions at a live stream. According to NASA, the 2 missions, called Da Vinci Plus and Veritas, will discover more about Venus's atmosphere. Both missions have unique ways to execute the operation, such as Da Vinci Plus will study the changes occurring in the planet's atmosphere, while Veritas will observe the planet's surface through radar. Planetary science is critical in answering key questions that we have as humans, like, are we alone? What implications beyond our solar system could these 2 missions show? This is really exciting stuff, Nelson said in the live stream. We hope these missions will further our understanding of how Earth evolved and why it's currently habitable while others in our solar system are not. Both missions are scheduled to launch within 2028 and 2030. Our third update is based on cosmonauts completing the 6th spacewalk of the year. Oleg Novitsky and Peter Dubrov, the Roscosmos duo, recently completed a 7-hour and 19-minute spacewalk in order to prepare the station for the next module. The cosmonauts started their spacewalk from the Poisk docking compartment at 1:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. During the spacewalk, they conducted a series of activities such as disconnecting the external mechanical links between Pirs and the space station, reconfiguring the antennas in order to prepare the Pirs module for undocking and disposal. A Russian multi-purpose laboratory module called Nauka would replace the old Pirs. As an operational objective, the cosmonauts also replaced a fluid flow regulator panel from the Zarya module. Finally, they both returned to the compartment at 9:12 a.m. Update number 4 is based on NASA's Perseverance rover. On Tuesday, June 1st, NASA's Perseverance rover completed 100 days on the Red Planet. On Mars, 1 sol is equivalent to 24 hours and 40 minutes that of Earth. It's between 5 months since the Perseverance and its partner Ingenuity landed on Mars, and now they've already completed 100 Martian days. During that time, Perseverance conducted a number of planned activities like testing all its scientific instruments, collecting data for research, etc. Perseverance also captured more than 75,000 images and recorded the first ever audio. There's more to come in the future. According to NASA, this mission has 2 primary goals, which is to unveil mysteries related to ancient Mars life and collect dozens of samples. Let's move on to update number 5. Startup launch vehicle developing company Launcher has raised a big chunk of money in Series A funding round. The total money stands at about $11.7 million. The Series A funding was co-led by Boost VC and Max Haut, who's the founder and CEO of Launcher. Haut alone invested $5 million after selling a camera company to Logitech earlier this year. Launcher is a small company which currently has only 30 employees. Hout believes the Series A funding will boost the company's growth. The company expects to work with 70 people by the end of the year. The supply chain is here, the talent is here, and many of our customers are here, including the Space Force, Hout said in an interview. Let's move on to update number 6. New Zealand signs Artemis Accords. NASA has recently announced, on May 31st, Peter Crabtree, head of the New Zealand Space Agency, signed the Artemis Accords with NASA during a program in Wellington. Stuart Nash, New Zealand's Economic Development Minister, said, "The Artemis Accords enable us to prepare for future economic and trade opportunities as well as meeting foreign policy objectives." In the space arena, New Zealand is a prominent name. Rocket Lab, though being an American company, has a primary launch pad on the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. Nania Mahuta, Foreign Minister of New Zealand, said, "One of only a small number of states with space launch capability, we take responsibilities of Kaitaikatanga of the space environment seriously." New Zealand is committed to ensuring the next phase of space exploration is conducted in a safe, sustainable, and transparent manner and in full compliance with international law. Update number 7 is focused on NASA's Juno spacecraft. By the 7th of June, 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time, NASA's Juno spacecraft will have a close flyby with Ganymede, Jupiter's largest moon. Juno will pass nearly 1,038 kilometers away from Ganymede. This upcoming flyby will be the closest one, and that with a largest natural satellite. Earlier in the year 2000, NASA's Galileo spacecraft carried out a similar close approach. John Bolton, Juno principal investor, stated, "Juno carries a series of sensitive instruments capable of seeing Ganymede in ways never before possible." He also said it will be complementing future missions with our unique sensors and helping prepare for the next generation of missions to the Jovian system, NASA's Europa Clipper, and ESA's Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer mission. Nearly 180 minutes before the closest approach, integrated science instruments of Juno will start collecting data. Moving on to our 8th update, Leo Labs raises $65 million. On the 3rd of June, Leo Labs raised $65 million in a Series B funding round. They now plan to use this funding for developing their radar network all over Earth and enhance space awareness services. Dan Ciperli, CEO of Leo Labs, said, "The services we're rolling out are becoming critical for the space industry, and we've got the technology down with our radar rollouts and our software platform. We've got the process, the team, and the procedures all ironed out. We're going to keep producing radars," stated Ciperli. Leo Labs has raised more than $100 million after adding the Series B funding. At first, Leo Labs had planned to establish phased array radars at 6 sites to track objects in orbit. But now, Ciperli says, "You'll see us continue beyond 6. To boost up activities, Leo Labs will also increase their employees to get new manual expertise along with software and data science expertise." Ciperli said, "We've got to collect all that data and deliver alerts and insights in real time across the entire population of satellites in LEO." Update number 9. The Federal Aviation Administration approved Rocket Lab to resume launches. On the 2nd of June, a representative of Rocket Lab stated that the Federal Aviation Administration has approved them to resume launches after their Electron booster failed due to an anomaly during the 15th of May launch. Now Rocket Lab will first have to inspect and solve that anomaly, then they can move for launch. During that failed launch, some mishap had occurred after the second stage's engine startup. According to a Rocket Lab official, the engine computer detected that conditions for flight were not met and performed a safe shutdown. Peter Beck, CEO of Rocket Lab, said, "With a vehicle with so much flight history and our heavy mission assurance and quality focus, any anomaly was always going to be a complex failure. However, we have successfully replicated the failure in testing and determined it required multiple conditions to occur in flight," Beck said. They're preparing corrective actions for a safe and swift return to flight. Today's last update is based on the replica model of ExoMars rover. The Rover ground test model, which is a replica of ExoMars rover, will perform a crucial role for the training of rover operators in the Rover Operations Control Center, who are preparing for Rosalind Franklin's, previously named ExoMars, landing on Oxyplanum, a place on Mars, by mid-2023. The model rover, after completion, has already completed its first drive in the Mars Terrain Simulator at Altec in Italy. While the ground test model was placed in the clean room of Thales Alenia Space, the commanding tests were carried out. For better representation of rover movement on Martian surface, the test model is configured with a device which will create Martian gravity. A rover unloading device will be attached to the test model from the ceiling to absorb the rover weight by 2/3. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your valuable feedback in the comment section. This will help us to improve.